How's it going, everybody? I decided to upload this video because it was rather interesting to me. I originally started filming it because I wanted to prove that I couldn't get 10 minutes of quiet time enough to do a ritual or meditate. And then it was a very short meditation, and in there I started receiving communication from Pleiadian beings, and I'm not accustomed to reaching that far, even though I explained in the video I kind of know how to do that. So I thought it was an interesting video. Go ahead and watch it all the way to the end. I also start to talk about the main subject at the end is, while you're trying to reach a higher conscious awareness, there are other subconscious forces also dancing with you along this path. And my main point is how they tend to try to distract you. So go ahead, watch the video, give it a thumbs up, and yeah, appreciate you hanging out with me. Okay, this is proof that I can't even get 10 minutes of meditation time without some kind of annoying noise in the background. Now, right now, I would consider this relatively quiet and acceptable. 7 minutes, 40 seconds in. So, that was an interesting short meditation. I was able to get a communication line open. Now, I'm not necessarily comfortable, contacting various beings throughout the galaxy, but I do know how, and so it's becoming a lot easier. But at the same time, it's like there's this membrane, there's this membrane of sensitivity where I feel like I have to be very careful of the conversations I have in my mind with these other beings. And so what? Somebody outside the shed. So what I experienced was, at first it was beings were coming into my eye peripherals. You could start seeing them looking in, like, can he see me? Can he see me? And so I start acknowledging them, saying, yes, I can see you. And that I'm aware, and that I'm trying, that I'm not confident. And then they start telling me, basically who they are, and, take my time, and kind of like hinting through visual images on how they will contact me, or how they will try to get a hold of me, or how we will work together. And so what they showed me was a bed. Now, I don't have like this bed, and maybe like this was like a year ago or 2 years ago and I got this message, I wouldn't have gotten it, but I get it. Kind of like the tarot has exercised my mind to understand what these images mean. And so there's this bed, and then underneath the bed was like illuminated, and the bed itself wasn't like a bed. It was like an astral like drawing, as if somebody drew this bed with a light blue highlighted color pencil over a black background, and then there was other images, and they're just basically telling me just to basically just take my time smoothing out the mental clutter, because it's the mental clutter at this rate that is keeping me from understanding who I'm talking to. But they made it known that they are Pleiadian, and part of this mental clutter I need to help, or I need to clear out is keeping me from remembering exactly what was said, or exactly the point. But it was just to basically take my time, that we're working towards working in dream, and then working in meditation. But the thing is that I have to find purpose in all this. That is what I can admit to myself that I am aware of, is that I don't necessarily, it's not that I don't know what my purpose is, it's that I don't make it a reality. I don't grasp my purpose enough to make it a reality. There's a difference. And so that's why I'm working on ritual magic, expanding my imagination, because the images are there, but they're not clear at all. I just know what they are, so I get by. Kind of like, I used to hear this term all the time, fake it till you make it. And that's kind of like what comes to mind when I think of getting psychic messages and transmissions. is that I see them and I know what they are, but I'm sort of second guessing myself and just knowing kind of overlay of what they are, and not being able to actually grasp the details. Now, I've exercised my rituals to naturally form by themselves from the things that I know. And one thing that I did after I did my lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, major distractions, by the way, that's why I'm filming this, is because it's just major way more than you're hearing, I'll be having silent moments, and then suddenly, just out of nowhere, just this really aggravating cuts to my brain and my mental core, breaks my focus, distractions. But one thing I did afterwards was I gave myself an energetic bath, and so I took little bit of water, just more like symbolism, a little bit of water from my container of enchanted water, my charged water, blessed water, a little bit of water in my hands, and went over my body, my energy centers, the bottoms of my feet, which is this symbolic energy of the water element, and then flinging it over my shoulders, just doing this naturally. I've never done this before, but I know that it's doing something, that it is in harmony and corresponding with the thought forms that are creating this play, this energy, this whatever I'm acting out. And so these rituals, these cleansing rituals, are to help clean out my aura from all this play, from this discharged energy. And so after I did that with the water, I went to the candle and I did the fire, where I've seen before, where this was taught to me, where you put your hand over the flame and you take that energy and you cleanse your aura, you cleanse your energy centers, thus cleansing your aura, doing the same thing as the water. So from water to fire, as like a vitalizing or revitalizing, and then just sending all that away, everything I do now, sending away into thought forms, which helps me to get my grounding back. But ultimately, because the mind dictates what's going on in the outside world, that is the world we actually live in. So when you become aware of this stuff, you'll notice you get through these gates where these forces that you're working with, they need to be acknowledged. So there is this unconscious force that distracts me, and it acts in the physical world to say, hey, look, I'm here, and you know I'm here. So you need to, bumping my elbow. So you need to acknowledge me, and we need to work this out. Because just as much as you are stuck at this gate, so am I. That's what the energy is saying. I am stuck at this gate, just as much as you are. And so by acknowledging this, because this is all in me, whatever this is that's grabbing my attention, it's distracting me. It's allowing this play to act out over and over and over. So I'm not going to get a second of meditative quiet as long as I'm trying to focus, because it knows that when I want to do that, I'm shutting it out, and it's showing me that I can't do that. So I'll be in my meditation, or I'll catch on to it. Every time I meditate, it does this. It's only 10 minutes out of a day, so let me change the 10 minutes. Let me change it to a different time. Let's take it 2 hours away. Let's do it before the sun comes up. Nope. Let's do it 2 hours later. Nope. I could be right in my meditation, and a car will start up right outside the shed, out of nowhere. Start up. and then it'll turn off all of a sudden, as if it turned on for nothing. But it breaks my focus. Or somebody will be yelling at the stray cats, yelling at the cats. There's no point in yelling at the cats, they're cats. But it happens anyways. And every time, so I can't get 10 minutes out of a 24-hour period. Every single time I try to meditate, every time I try to do a ritual, 10 minutes only. Some kind of boom, distraction. It's meant to be like that because I have to acknowledge it. I have to call it out. And I have to work with it to figure out why it won't allow me to get past this gate. And it's listening to me right now. It's aware of me. I'm aware of it. And it's listening through the subconscious of the people. And right now there is somebody outside my storage, my shed. They don't know that they're listening to me, but they are. They're trying to listen subconsciously. If I open the door, there's going to be somebody there, and I know who it is. And because I just so happen to be filming this random out of the day, and they're drawn to me because of this subconscious force, this force, this spirit. And this proves to my awareness that this is all real, relative, and it's something that needs to be brought out into the open somehow, because it's not going to give me a moment of peace. Right there, right outside, right on the other side of the wall. And this wouldn't even happen if I wasn't trying to focus on this aspect. If I were, for example, if I were to be angry in emotion and in my psychosis, nothing goes right, and blah, life sucks, there wouldn't be anybody out there. There wouldn't be any distraction. You'd be quiet. And then I would breathe, and then I would come to my senses, come out of the psychosis, and I would be like, okay, I'm going to take this moment to calm down and meditate and relax because I need to center myself. And then boom, it would happen. Trying to get me to be angry. They're right there. Right there. Because I'm talking about it. Now the second I turn this off, it's going to go away. But I wouldn't be able to prove that because the camera would be off. It gets kind of creepy. It really does. Because it's like you can, because I'm highly empathic, so I can feel a person's energy. And when a person, I know they're not intentionally, they're not trying to get close to me, even though I have these walls. They're subconsciously doing it, not of their awareness. And that brings them even closer. It brings them even closer. And they don't even know it. Anyways, I don't know what I'm going to do with this video, but I'm is like 22, 24, 20, 22 minutes, 23 minutes almost of just sort of like living in this energy, sitting in this energy that it's very conscious. It's very conscious of what I'm trying to accomplish. I am trying to get 10 minutes out of my day of no distraction. I'm trying to raise my consciousness into the galactic order where I can communicate and find out what I am supposed to do with all this information. But it is very much like now I understand why people believe in demons and energetic parasites and energetic sequences of events. When you take away the physical, it's all subconscious. And people are very unaware of what they're doing. And yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm the crazy one, but anyways, I'm not going to make this longer than it needs to be. I don't even know what I'm going to do with this video, but I don't know, maybe there'll be more.